Hi guys, welcome to Twin Perspective. I'm Joe, and today I'm going to be replying to a Halloween tag from our friend across the pond, Grumpy Andrew, from Grumpy Andrew's Horror House. He was tagged with 8 questions about Halloween, not the film, but the Season of the Witch. Ooh. I've got the 8 questions here. My brother James will reply with a comment either to this video or to your original video, Grumpy, and he will give you his 8 answers. And here I go. Number 1. What is the quintessential movie for you to watch around Halloween time? Usually what I do is every Halloween, each season is different. There is something that's going to be featured on TV. A lot of times the new shows come on during the fall. And if these things line up right, then I'm watching, whatever's new to that season. So let's say, for instance, the last couple of years, Ash vs. Evil Dead was on Stars, and if it was on around Halloween, then of course I was watching that. Stan Against Evil is something else on TV that I watch. The seasons haven't lined up to Halloween every time. Stuff like that. American Horror Story is usually going on. I'll make sure to catch an episode of that. But I think what you mean is a specific film that you have to put in and watch every Halloween. And that's something that I don't really have. I don't have one in particular that I have to watch every Halloween. I am in the spirit all month long, and so I will watch horror movies. But one film that I know that I've sought out on occasion during Halloween, more than once, is not a horror movie. It's a musical, The Nightmare Before Christmas, which of course is written by Tim Burton and has that Tim Burton-esque feel to it, slightly gothic and definitely Halloween themed. But wouldn't say that's a horror movie, but it is one that I have sought. I have 4 kids. My first one was born right before it was released, and he loved it. He loved watching it all the time, and of course that was a big deal for Halloween. And every kid I've had after that, I've usually put it on, and usually it's around Halloween, and I'm like, hey, so I've got an 8-year-old right now that hasn't seen it. And that was the one film all month long that I considered seeking out and watching. Of course, my 8-year-old plays so many video games, he's never sat down and said, okay, Dad, let's watch it. I've never said, all right, it's coming on, come here and watch it. But it may happen this week. The Nightmare Before Christmas. Number 2, what's my favorite costume I've ever worn? All right, I am a freak. Growing up in high school, I was a freak. I was into the new wave, everything that was coming over from across the pond. So I styled myself over the likes of like The Cure, Depeche Mode. I guess nowadays, or maybe in the last 20 years, people would say emo. I don't know. New wave, that's what it is to me. It's a pretty gothic, but not full-blown gothic. I wasn't a goth. I was a freak. So usually all I did was I was dressed like Halloween all the time. To me, every day is Halloween. So I didn't wear that many costumes, but I remember one year in particular, my friends and I and my brother dressed as punks, what we thought were over and above what we were already dressing like. We brightened it up a little bit. I'm not sure if we look like punks from any band that is a punk band. None of us really listened to a lot of punk, and there were different variations of punk. We had stockings on that were ripped. Everybody had some sort of spiked hairdo, makeup, too much makeup, sporting the anarchy or this or that, everything else. And so what made it memorable for us is we lived in a house and we were considered Montague, but the actual little town of Montague was about a mile away. And we decided to dress up like these punks and go into the small town of Montague on foot, and went to different parties and stuff. And on our way back home, the cops picked us up because we were walking around midnight on the side of the highway. And we got dropped off and, of course, got busted. We had snuck out. So that made it memorable. But that it's not like I loved the costume all that much. But, we went all out that year. So punk rocker. Number 3. What's my favorite pumpkin food? I'm not a big fan of pumpkin. I like pumpkin pie. I much rather sweet potato pie or nice pecan pie, cherry pie. Pumpkin pie, I'll eat it if it's there. Put some whipped cream on it. I guess my favorite pumpkin food would be pumpkin bread pudding, and I put that recipe in Grumpy's comments under the video. Yeah. You just make bread pudding, except instead of soaking your bread in your basic sugar, vanilla, egg mixture with cream and milk, you add a little pumpkin puree, you add some bourbon, you pour in some syrup, some maple syrup or pancake syrup, whatever you got, and you bake it in that mixture. And you top it off with some caramel, maybe some dulce de leche, just some caramel mixed with condensed milk and some vanilla. Mix that up, pour it on top. Good stuff. Number 4, what is your favorite timeline in the Halloween franchise? I have not seen Halloween 2018. I regret to inform you. I won't be able to do top 10 Michael Myers kills because I haven't seen Halloween 2018. I don't plan on seeing it until it's released on DVD or pay-per-view or something like that. My brother did see it. He was pretty drunk at the time. He came home, I think, and said that he hated it. It sucked. But then he told me a couple of nights ago that the kills were pretty good. So I got to hold off on the kills. As far as the timeline goes, I may say the original and then 2018 are my favorite timeline, but I haven't seen it yet. So for now, I'm going to go with Halloween 1 and Halloween 2. Michael Myers burnt to death in the second one. That's where it ended. I loved Halloween 3. And then after that, I didn't care much. Matter of fact, I didn't like any of those films. And quite honestly, I don't remember much about any of them. Because I thought the whole thing was absurd to begin with. And then you throw in the little girl who's dominating the whole thing, and anyway, Halloween 1 and Halloween 2, my favorite timeline so far. Number 5, what is your favorite character in the Halloween franchise? I guess Michael Myers, the Shape. And I wasn't a huge fan of Laurie. She exhibited signs of weakness, although she did manage to be resourceful in the end, and at times she just didn't really stand out for me as a final girl. I don't think, without the help of Dr. Loomis, that she could have survived that night. So I'll have to say Michael Myers or Dr. Loomis. Number 6, what is your favorite Halloween-themed event or activity? Like I said, I'm a parent of 4 kids. Most of the time I'm working on Halloween night, so I don't usually even take my kids trick-or-treating all their lives. It's usually the mother that did it while I was working. Now, there are periodically, every 7 years or whatever, I get a Halloween off. And then I get to go trick-or-treating, and that, of course, is the event, Halloween, taking your kids trick-or-treating. This year, I'm actually off for Halloween, so I'll be able to take my son, my 8-year-old. I think I've only taken him once in his life. I've worked every other Halloween. But as far as myself personally, a favorite Halloween-themed activity or event would be basically a club that's opened that's opened on Halloween, and the club has to specify in certain music. So 80s new wave music on a Halloween would be the best place, and a club, and that's more of an 80s new wave themed activity than a Halloween activity. There you go, though. That's what I would do. I would actually dress up in a Halloween costume to go to a club that's featuring good music and everyone is dressed up. Number 7, what is my favorite pumpkin style carving? Well, lately there's been these carvings that people manage to do, and I guess what you do is you buy, I've never done it, so I don't really know, but I guess there's a picture, you put it over the pumpkin, you draw it, and then you carve it a certain way, and then it comes out, and they look excellent. I have a friend that does a lot of them, and she was doing Star Wars themed with Yoda, and Darth Vader and all that, and it looked really good. And then I saw a few online where people actually had carved out Jason's mask, or Freddy Krueger, or Michael Myers. So that's what I would say. My favorite Halloween carving, which I've never done, but I've seen photos of, would be Jason Voorhees' hockey mask. That would be a beautiful thing. I would do that every year, and yeah, that would be the one that I would love. Jason Voorhees, the hockey mask. Iconic. Number 6, the final question. What does Halloween mean to you? This is Halloween. This is Halloween. 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 Halloween to me means everybody else dresses up like me for one day. Everybody else lets themselves go in appearance, and they get into the spirit, which is, there's supposed to be a spirit during Christmas of holiness and love and caring and warmth, and in Halloween it's getting your freak on, whether it's trying to be scary or spooky or being more eclectic. Or I like Halloween for that every day is Halloween to me, and then for one time, just a brief moment every year, everybody else gets on my level, and yeah, that's basically it. Every day is Halloween. I live with the snakes and the lizards and the other things that go bump in the night. To me, every day is Halloween. I've given up hiding and started to fight. It used to be a battle. All my from 10th, 11th, 12th grade. 10th grade was when I started changing my style, started dressing up more like the bands I liked. And for the rest of my high school career, it was a pain in the ass. People gave a shit all the time. I mean, you could dress like a headbanger. You could buy the preppy clothes. You could use all the Aquanet hairspray in the freaking world, as long as you had a bouffant and not a mohawk. As long as your hair wasn't dyed black. If your hair was dyed black and you had a lot of hairspray in it, look out. That was the way it was. Discrimination? Oh my goodness. Yeah. And we asked for it because we dressed that way. And there was a time in one of my high schools where myself, my brother, and about 8 of our friends were called into the auditorium. And the first period began. The first class began. The intercom comes on, calls all of us to the auditorium. We're not sure why. They had cops there, and the principal, and some teachers. They were going to talk to us about the way we were dressing. Apparently, they were trying to connect people that were dressed in all black clothes to animal mutilations. And not like cattle or anything like that, just like dead cats and dead dogs. Like a dog gets run over, or a possum or something like that. All of a sudden, it was our fault because we were dressed in all black. And we had the opportunity to call our parents in, and my mother came in. And my mother reminded that principal that his own daughter wore more hairspray than anybody else in the school, but she had one of those fashion photo bouffant hairdos instead of my little buddy Joanna, who had the two sides of her head shaved and the mohawk going on. You know, we even had a friend there that dressed like a preppy. He never wore black clothes ever. And the fact that he was called to the auditorium proved to us that they were just singling us out, our clique. It's like Rod never wears black clothes. He never even wears a black shirt. He wears jeans and penny loafers and a preppy shirt. And yeah, he immediately left and went back to class. He had nothing to do with it. It was amazing. That's what we put up with through all of high school, dressing up as a freak. So I am a bona fide freak, and nowadays, you know, I'll wear jeans, I'll wear t-shirts. That's what I usually do. It's hilarious because at the place I work, I am required to wear the uniform of black shoes, black pants, black shirt, and a black hat. So I guess it all comes about full circle, huh? That's it. That's what Halloween means to me. Halloween means to me that everybody loosens up and for once doesn't take it all so seriously, because they sure gave us hell in school. And for one night of the year, everybody can get your freak on. Thanks, Grumpy. I like answering these. These are great. Once I see Halloween 2018, I'm going to respond to the video that you also tagged us in, requesting our top 10 favorite Michael Myers kills. And I must say, I wasn't impressed with Michael Myers' kills. Comparing his kills to Jason Voorhees' kills, it's no comparison. I might actually throw together my top 10 Jason Voorhees kills. That would be fun, interesting, and difficult. But I'll get back to you on that one for Halloween 2018. And until then, thanks, guys. Thanks, Grumpy. That has been my Halloween tag. 8 questions about Halloween. And please subscribe to Rosenfield 10 for more videos like this. I have a lot of different horror-themed videos coming out recently. Check them out. Like and share and comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the trees. Bye.